a New Yorker today. I was telling Kimberly about this at dinner, and I was like, okay. And they're talking. I was like, and it was like, what's your date of birth? What's your date of birth? Slow down.
Yeah, I slow them down. I don't let them. Every once in a while, they'll try to control the call, and I'll just no, you're not doing that.
Tim will be here in 5. I already started it, so
And
um,
we're losing 7 of our offices that we schedule for.
really, why?
They're closing down. 11 of them are closing down in Indiana.
So what happened in Jacksonville was another company called Millennium came in and like offered huge contracts and bought out a bunch of different offices. Is that kind of what's happening here, or do you even know?
I don't. I think they're closing them. It
Really?
doesn't. They haven't. I can only go
Well,
by. I haven't heard anything. I only go by what I hear on the news because that's where.
the issue is like they're suffering from shortages just like everybody else.
Yeah,
Nurse
that's the problem.
shortages, and I feel bad because I try to schedule somebody and it's like for something simple like just like a come in like an annual checkup. I'm scheduling like in some offices like 3-4 months out,
Yep.
and I feel bad, but it's just like all I can do is offer you the wait list.
I don't even care. I don't. I just.
I think my problem is I do care.
I, I'm past it. I don't care. That's okay.
That's what we're different. You care, or you don't care. I do
I
care.
care. I mean, I feel bad for people like if they can't get in, but that's what walk-in clinics are for.
Well,
I
that's
would.
what I always say. I was like, I can offer you the urgent care. I can get you right in. Do you guys schedule for urgent care?
Only in one of them, I think, of our
We
offices. But
have
we have 2 walk-in clinics in Indianapolis only, and
oh,
there's
well,
one in
come to think
Zionsville and
about it,
there's one
like
in Normal.
all the ones in Kokomo are like Med One or whatever,
Yeah, they're terrible here, but that's all I can suggest. I'm like, sorry.
and and
I
it's
mean,
not like one city for you. You guys do all of Indiana.
more or less, you don't go to your doctor anymore if you're like you go for checkups and annuals. That's all you do. You don't do anything else.
Yeah, if you're sick, you go to Med
Sick,
One.
yeah, you go to bed one. That's exactly right. It's terrible, but I mean
And
that's what it is.
the last one, the couple weeks ago, like there's a week I had a really bad week. Like I almost just shut off my computer. I had like a really bad day. Like I
See,
got
that's
yelled at
why
like
I don't
five
care.
times in a
See,
row.
you
Well,
let
that's
them
how I
get
am
to
now.
you.
I don't care anymore. Like it's like, well, I'm sorry, that's all I can offer you. And they're like, well, I'm going to go somewhere else, and I want to say it like, well, you're going to have the same issue somewhere else.
I like it when they hang up on you because you don't want to get they don't want you to give you their information, knowing that the next operator's
So,
going to ask you for the same information.
so today in our group chat, people were saying there's this one lady that called 5 times, got 5 different operators, and everyone was talking about like she just didn't want to give her insurance, and we have to confirm your phone number, your address, and your insurance.
Yeah,
And the insurance is mostly because some people don't realize they had insurance changes.
that's all right.
What?
Nothing. I was watching The Office and I forgot about a scene and it made me laugh.
Oh, no, but some people don't realize that they had like an insurance change maybe or forgot to, and it's just to save us and you the hassle of you know
Yeah,
insurance. But Indiana doesn't deal with insurance like I
nope.
have to. I actually have to
I'm
do
like
everything.
just take your card in and let them update that in the system when you go to your appointment.
Nope, I have to get all the information. I have to make sure it's correct, and it's annoying because I'm not sitting there looking at your card because half the time people don't give you the correct numbers. They give you
That's why in Indiana they did what they did.
well that and like there's a lot of clinics in Indiana that people from like Ohio or Illinois or other places go to, so it was just a hassle with insurance.
Yep. But
So
I
it's just
let the
easier doing
people.
it.
I had 2 people. I told you that right yesterday. One called in. Yeah, I'm just having some chest pains on and off, and I've
Hmm.
got some. My fingers are tingling, and around my shoulders, kind of numb. I'm like, you need to get to the emergency room immediately. I had another guy calling. He said, "Yeah, I'm slurring. My words are slurred, and I'm dizzy." I'm
That's
like,
a
"Yeah,
stroke.
That's a stroke. Yeah, sir, you need to go to. Well, it's been like this for the past 5 days. I said, oh my God.
Sir, give me your address. I'm calling 911 for you.
Yeah.
And they want to go see their doctor. Like, can you get me in today?
I had some guy. I didn't tell you about this, but I had the same thing. He's like having his like arm hurts, his neck hurts, and like his heart is like fluttering. And I'm like, dude, I'll try. My computer is saying you need to go to the ER. I'll try. I'll call the front office and see if they'll get you in. The nurse at the back line was like, let me talk to him.
Oh,
was like,
I
all right,
asked
all
them, and
yours.
they'll say, yeah, you need to tell them to go to. You need to tell them to go to the ER.
Well, I think most people realize we're not clinical and don't take our word for it. And then like if they talk to actual nurse on the phone, they understand it a little. They get it a little more, I think.
I suppose, but man, if I'm having chest pain and my left arm is going numb, I'm drawing on some aspirin and calling an ambulance.
I had a fun one today. So we have Spanish speakers, but if they're already on a call, it gets sent to us. So I was talking to I got a Spanish caller, which is no big deal. We have an interpreter service that helps us out real nicely. And this lady, I think I timed it. She talked for 3 minutes before she let the interpreter interpret. And I almost wanted to tell the interpreter, like, hey, you need to stop her so I can get going. And I had an appointment, like somehow there must have been a cancellation for a new patient appointment, and it was like next week. And I was trying to get her in because it was like those are hard to come by, but she wouldn't shut up. And then finally she let me get her scheduled, and I missed it, so I had to schedule her right into March.
See, that's what she gets for talking.
I didn't need to know that you're about your last doctor not treating you right. I don't care.
Oh my God, yeah, they give you a whole damn life story sometimes. I'm like, I'll just sit there and I'll like shake my head and be mouthing, I don't care. I don't care. And I know I shouldn't do that, but like, just shut up and get to the point. Let me have your last name and date of birth so I can look you up.
Exactly.
Ah.
And we are, Mikey, we are timed that we have to be, they want us to average 5 minutes a call.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, it's not that bad because, half of my calls, I've got it down to like 3.5 minutes if all they want to do is schedule and be out. And then you'll have that call that's like 40 seconds because they just want to be transferred to the nurse's desk. Or like, then you'll have like the 30-minute call I had the other day because I had an interpreter call scheduling 4 new patients.
4 patients?
Yep, with an interpreter. That was a fun one.
Oh, with an interpreter. I've done 5 before, but not with an interpreter. Her husband, wife, and 3 kids, and they all want them close to the same day. And
I tell them I'll do my best. I ain't promising you nothing though.
Well, that's what I do. You've got to. But for the most part, I'm nice. 99%. I'm always nice, but there's only so much I can do because
I had one call that I probably would have gotten written up for that day that I snapped.
I don't know why you snapped. Like, I don't even care.
Well,
it's not.
It was like my 5th call.
No,
it was like my 5th call in a row of people getting mad at me. So I was I was over it, and I legit put myself on away and just walked away. I didn't even say anything. I just got up and walked because I was like, if I get another call like this, I am gonna probably get fired.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta in a case like that, you gotta just walk away, get a drink, go pee.
Yeah,
but that's life.
All right, I want to get into some of the meat and potatoes of it, but first I want to talk about. Me and Kimberly went to Aldi's today.
Welcome to another episode of Hoosier Nerds Podcast.
Yeah, welcome to another episode of Hoosier Nerds Podcast. What are we at? We're like 5 minutes in? Oh no, we're 10 minutes in. And I just want to talk about Aldi's really quick because I love Aldi's. Like I'm starting to really like Aldi's. Good prices, good quality stuff.
Are they sponsoring us?
No, unfortunately.
This is unsolicited.
I'm gonna talk some shit because
okay.
So the one thing I hate about Aldi's is the checkout process because they are like freaking Kobe or Shaq lobbing up shots, trying to get it into their into the cart to set some sort of land speed record. Just yeeting your shit into a cart. And most of the time we've gotten pretty much every checkout person at our Aldi, and there's one person, maybe two, but there's definitely one person that we've had the last couple times we've gone there that I almost want to refuse to go to her now, because she legit is just like trying to set some sort of land speed record throwing our stuff in there. And last time she almost we decided to get one of their cheap bottles of wine to give it a try, and she almost broke the bottle throwing it into the
It's like
and
sounds like employee of the month. I think that's what with Dane Cook and
Oh yeah, when they were doing
Yes.
the contest.
yeah.
I hate my checkout person too. They do a
there
shitty
was
job.
one or
They
two
do a
in
shitty
Kokomo
job of
once.
bagging my groceries too.
And I get it. They're timed on their thing. They got to do it so fast. But it's like, come on, dude. You
Right.
break something, that's going to slow you down.
That's right. I'll throw hands at my checkout person. I don't even care.
And today, it's a cold day today. It's like 21, 20 degrees out. And I made a joke because the wind chill is really cold. And I just made a joke. Yeah, it's 22, but it feels like 21 out or negative 22 out. And then she went on to this thing about, no, it doesn't, blah, blah, blah. I lived in Alaska, blah, blah, blah. It's not that cold. You don't feel the difference. Like, and I looked at it and I was like, I almost said, it's just a figure of speech. It's a joke. Because I was already pissed at her for yeeting my stuff into the thing.
This is why I shop at Walmart and use self checkout because.
You go to Aldi too?
No, I don't.
Since
I
when?
quit going to Aldi.
Why?
Since because for a while there, some of the stuff at Walmart was cheaper than Aldi, and I didn't want to go to two places. And then I just started going to Walmart for everything because I'm antisocial and a hermit, and I can get in and out of Walmart in like 20 minutes.
I don't like Walmart because of the people.
That's why I go to self checkout. I don't care.
That's
Yeah, but
racist.
you still got to deal with the people walking through the aisles.
I go right after work. I go as soon as I get off work, and then I'm home in a half hour. Even when I worked till 4:30, I was home by 5.
Oh well.
I make a list. You see this is the secret. You make a list. You stick to the list. You go in there, grab your shit, self checkout, and you're out the door. You ain't got to deal with very many people at all.
True.
None.
All right. Anyways, that's my little rant about my stuff getting yeeted into my shopping carts. Mikey, let's talk about the little kid in the background, shall we?
Yeah,
Fine.
she was just sitting on my lap the whole time. I had it muted. She's fine. She's saying hi the whole time. So yeah, they just my girlfriend and her daughter just moved in.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, they just moved
Wow.
in Saturday.
You're gonna have signs hanging all over your house in a
Yep.
matter of days.
Oh yeah, I already
You're
did
gonna.
that.
It's gonna get
I already
womanized
did
real
that.
quick.
I took down the Dragon Ball Z thing I had and the
No.
Holy
Airbender thing.
shit! No.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be a home, not a bachelor pad.
You took down your Dragon Ball Z stuff. You got to keep
Yeah.
your nerdy stuff up.
I have it in my room. Like I have some stuff in my room, but I don't have it out. I still have the Alan Richardson thing hanging up there by the bathroom though.
That's
I haven't
do you
took that
have
down.
do you have the thing in the bathroom still too?
No, it's moved to the other bathroom.
Wow! Wow!
Said it was creepy.
Denied.
She said it was creepy.
Welcome to the non-bachelor pad life.
Thank you.
All right.
Wow!
Let's.
I just
Did anybody watch anything interesting this week?
24 hours
actually-
of Daytona.
Oh, that's not interesting, but okay.
Yeah, it is.
Kick his ass.
I watched actually today. I watched. It was on Peacock, and I don't go through Peacock a lot, and it was called Amber, the girl before the alert.
Yeah, I saw that there's a documentary about it, right? The
Sorry, I
girl
didn't mean to laugh at that. Just the name, the title, "The Girl Before the Alert."
Yeah,
That's not was that the name of the Is that the title? The hell is he doing? He's on mushrooms, I think.
What?
so it was basically about a girl that was kidnapped, or they found her body like 5 days later. But
Oh, Tim's here.
moral of the story is they couldn't. It was back in the 90s, and the fastest way to get the word out that she was kidnapped was 6 o'clock news, and
Right.
so they had to waste. It was like 3 hours from the time she was kidnapped to the 6 o'clock news or something, and then
Really?
yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I can
so
remember.
yeah, and then like the 2000s or something, or yeah, early or late 1990s. It was just that area, Arlington, Texas area, that established the red alert system where they broadcast it on the radio.
So when did Amber Alert start? Like
I think
nationwide?
George Bush signed it in 2003.
I was going to say, because I can remember like a couple of different, like there was one girl, she went missing on Super Bowl Sunday. And she walked to her friend's house. And the last place they saw her was she walked by a car wash, and there was like a security camera at the car wash. They saw her walking by the car wash, but you didn't hear about it till the next day. Like
Yeah.
we didn't hear about it till the next day. So there was already. I mean, there was probably it might have been. I don't even think it was on the 11 o'clock news that night. I think it was. You're talking 12 hours probably. So
There was it kind of the one thing that really sparked it was the first time it was really used. It was in the same area, the Arlington, Texas area, I think, and it was like a 10-month-old or something like that. Really, a baby, 6-month-old, I don't know. And the babysitter took her, and they used the red alert system or the fucking Amber Alert system. Red alert, red alert. Anyway, so they used the Amber Alert system for the first time in that area, and then dispatch got a call from a witness or something like, "Hey, I'm right in front of that car. I could see the baby and everything." So
really,
yeah, and it was like within 30 minutes after that call, after the Amber Alert or something.
Mikey, do you remember when Zach actually saved a kid?
No, I don't.
So it was
What?
when he was living in Newport News. He was coming home from work, I think, and stopped at a gas station. And the Amber Alert came over his phone. I think it was like a white Toyota, if I remember. I don't know why I remember this. I just think it's kind of cool that one of my best friends this happened to him. It's like a white Toyota, and he looked at it, and it matched the license plate, and called 911, and the cops were there within a minute. He said, I think,
Yeah.
and and arrested the guy. It was like some guy took his like kid from the mom or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just. But now it's like I feel like we get them too much sometimes, and it's like I get them from like I live in Richmond. And it's like they were taken from like Chicago. I'm like, that's nowhere
That's
near me.
because because they'll hit down 65 and come down this way. Look at
I
that
know.
one dude, that one that was in Ohio, and they found the one kid in downtown Indianapolis. The
Yeah.
twins.
That is
That's-
very true. And
so-
they probably kind of like, well, in 4 hours they could have gotten this far, in this radius. So let's get
It's
everybody in
it's the
this
whole
radius.
radius. Yeah, that's exactly right. I haven't watched any documentaries. Okay, I lied. I've been watching. I've been trying to see what the hype is about Formula One Drive to Survive on Netflix, because now everybody's into Formula One. All of a sudden, all these famous people pretending to care about it, and Formula One tickets are outrageously expensive if you want to go to a race.
Wasn't it
So
like $10,000 in Miami or something like that?
Yeah, and then Vegas is doing a deal. You can get like a suite at Caesars and race tickets for like 10 grand. Because they're racing in Vegas next year. This year, not next year. This year. Yeah, but prices for Formula One races. When I would go, when they had it at the Speedway in Indianapolis, I went 2 years. I walked in with a general admission ticket. It was $40. I think a GA ticket now is almost $200.
Jeez.
It means you don't have a seat.
Jeez.
Go sit in the grass. So I've been trying to see what the hype is with Drive to Survive. And I mean, it's slickly produced, and they only show the highlights, which is out of a race weekend, like a minute
20
or two
minutes.
of exciting stuff. And but boy, people are sold on this, and Formula One's just exploding in popularity for some reason. So I've been watching Drive to Survive to see what that's all about. The new season starts February 24th, so I'll check that out. But that's all I've been watching. I haven't even watched the Jonah Hill movie yet. With that Eddie Murphy.
Oh, I can't wait for that movie. It looks hilarious.
It's on.
No, I can't wait to watch it. Is what I meant. To
Yeah, I
say.
haven't had a chance to watch it. It started Friday.
I saw a clip of Eddie Murphy trying to get Jonah Hill to say the N word in Paris. Who's in Paris? The
yeah, Jay-Z song.
the Jay-Z song.
No.
So they're listening to the song in their car, and he's trying to get Jonah Hill to say the N word. He's like, "Who's going to Paris? Who's
So
in Paris?"
Is it like a scripted show, or is it like a
Yeah.
documentary? Okay.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
it's a movie. It's a
Isn't
comedy.
it
Okay.
written and directed by Jonah Hill?
Yeah, I think so. It's like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Sidney Poitier. He's
I
white.
haven't seen.
He's white. She's
anything-
black.
It's one of those things. I haven't seen anything with Eddie Murphy in forever.
Anything that's watchable. I guess Dolomite
Yeah.
was really good, but I haven't watched it.
Was
I watched
the new coming
Daddy
to
Daycare.
good?
Daddy Daycare.
I
Forgot
watched
about
that.
that movie.
I watched that a couple weeks ago.
I'm more of a Beverly Hills Cop, Trading
Yeah.
Places kind of guy.
Dr. Doolittle. That was my favorite of his.
Really?
Even though
I-
Daddy Daycare wasn't bad. I
Nutty Professor's really good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never liked Coming to America, like the original.
Oh, the original's good.
I don't know. It wasn't. The way I think it was a little before my time, and now it's not really.
I mean, that back in the day, you could just sexual chocolate, and everybody knew exactly what he was talking about. That's a good movie. I like Trading Places. That's my favorite Eddie Murphy movie. Well,
I like
Beverly
Eddie
Hills Cop's really
Murphy's
good, too.
stand-up though. I think his stand-up's great.
Yep.
And then I can't believe his brother Charlie Murphy died.
Yeah.
I thought
that was 20
Charlie
years ago,
Murphy I only really knew Charlie because of the Dave Chappelle show.
Charlie, bit my finger. Some Star Trek chick just died too. Who was that?
Oh, it was the Borg Queen. And she did some other Star Trek stuff. Tim would know.
She was in 24, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
And she did voice acting, I guess.
Tim was here. I don't know where he went.
He's there. He's dressed like a Jedi. I'm telling you, he's on mushrooms or something.
Well, he said he was walking to the store, so I don't know.
He looked. Never mind. That joke would get us in trouble. Never mind. I won't say that.
All right. Don't do it.
He's wearing a hooded sweatshirt, so something like no.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Being from Florida, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't remember the kid's name, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
I hope we didn't go to the store for some Skittles.
We're going to put a 4th grade picture of him out there so he doesn't.
You're right. Yeah,
scary.
so he does. Yeah.
Okay, that's too much. Too much. We're done.
Oh, sorry, guys. That was
24 hours
wrong.
this weekend, 24 hours a Daytona. I want to. I was like, man, I really want to go. I really want to go because it's so much fun. And I'm like, damn, that speedway's bigger than Indianapolis because the way it's shaped, and the tunnel system is. It's just so much walking. It's so much walking. So I feel like it's a good idea to go to 24 hours.
when we went to Disney last year, we spent a couple days in Daytona. And we drove past that what's it called? The track.
The speedway, yeah.
That speedway was so stinking huge.
Yeah, it's big, yeah. Well, the way it's configured, because it's D-shaped, so it's the same length as Indianapolis, but there's only 2 tunnels in the infield, and one's in turn 4 and one's in turn 1, and it's a long walk from the grandstands. You don't take. They got a shuttle. You can take a shuttle, but it's just everywhere that you go. It's just a long walk everywhere. So you better be prepared to walk.
Get your walking feet on.
Get your walking feet on. I'm prepared to walk anywhere. I'm even prepared to walk down to my car. So,
do you guys mind if I talk about Last of Us for a little bit? This might get a little.
I've been meaning. I need to start it.
I haven't started it either.
So I'm going to talk about the latest episode. This is like their first big.
No spoilers.
So this is like their first big gets away from the game a little. And basically it was great. Okay. In the game, they never said this guy was gay. They never said he wasn't gay. They never said he was gay. So, it didn't feel forced. But I felt like the episode was kind of a waste of time because it was legitimately an entire episode of a gay love story in the zombie apocalypse.
Okay.
Was it gay zombies or?
No, just these 2 guys.
Oh, okay.
That would be interesting.
I was gonna say, I think I'd watch that movie, Gay Zombies in Love. I would definitely watch that movie.
Hey, just like that, the Boy Scouts versus Zombies. That movie was actually pretty good. But no, go ahead, Mikey.
I was just gonna ask a general question about The Last of Us, but you
go right ahead.
So are the zombies intelligent at all?
No. So
is it zombies, or would you consider them zombies, or is it just kind of like a disease or something?
It's a disease. They're zombies. Let's be honest. They might not call them zombies. They call them. I don't even. What do they call them, Kimberly? Or do they just call them the dead?
Well, I mean, if they're walking around like undead,
they have a lot of different names
undead.
for them.
Unalive. They're unalive.
Would they be walking dead? Maybe.
No, they run. Let's just say us fat kids would not be alive any longer.
Oh, cardio.
There's different types of zombies. It's a fungus, so it's kind of you'll see it. There's a few different types of the zombies. You'll see.
I figure I'd like it. I mean, I like shows like that. Like I watched a lot of zombie movies, and I watched Walking Dead, but I never played the game, so I figure I'll be more open to whatever they offer. And I'm not too critical of whether it's close to. So I figure I'll like it.
See,
of course,
that's the big thing I'm having issues with. Is I'm having big issues trying to break it away from the game because I think I said it in one of the last episodes. This game is like top 3 games in my list. Like it is either number 1 or number 2.
I feel like the Halo show did a pretty good job of not getting too. I mean, they took like liberties, but it's not like too far from the story that it really makes a difference. I mean, technically, I guess it's before the story, so it really doesn't matter.
They also kind of explained it's sort of a different universe. It's not really the universe of the games.
Okay.
That's for the Halo show, but The Walking Dead, they haven't said anything about that. It's just
he said it. He said Walking Dead.
He did.
You mean The Last of Us?
The Last of Us. My bad, Mikey. You were big into The Walking Dead, though. Like you were bigger than me into that show.
I've been wanting. Like I've seen clips and stuff. Like there's a lot. Of course, there's a lot of memes and stuff, but like it's resurfacing again. But it's like I've been wanting at least to watch like the first few seasons again. But I'm not gonna finish it all.
It's on the final season now. I think I'm gonna, when it's done, one of those times I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna binge watch it and finish it off.
Right. Yeah.
Because I liked it, so I might as well finish it. But But going back to this episode of The Last of Us, I like how The Last of Us gives us like, you know, history into what happened. You know, that's one thing I always craved about The Walking Dead. I wanted to know more about the fall of humanity. Well,
Yeah.
this show's doing that for you. You know, different people's perspective of the first few days to years of what happened.
Well, they did the Walking Dead spinoff where they did that a little bit.
It was only like half of the season.
Oh, okay.
Did you ever finish the Fear of the Walking Dead or watch
No,
it?
no,
Yeah,
no. I watched
Fear of the
some of
Walking
it. But
Fear the Walking Dead, it was 4 episodes where like during and right after the fall, the rest of then it jumped like 5 years. So it wasn't what I wanted. Cuz my favorite zombie stuff is like the day of the outbreak, them trying to figure stuff out.
Dawn of the Dead.
Exactly. I love Dawn of the Dead.
So is next season going to be called like The Last of Them, and then the
So
phase after that will be the last of those?
so I really hope they do not take the season. So season 2's happening, like it's confirmed. I really hope they don't.
Last of She Her.
I hope they don't do no. Honestly, no. Let me explain. If they follow the second game in season 2, it will be horrible. I don't want to say horrible, but no, a lot of people are not going to want to watch it because
they'll
one of the
finish?
main protagonists is a transgender.
You think they'll
So
finish
the last of they them.
one, though?
Exactly.
You think they'll finish the whole game in the first season?
They've already, from the clips they shown, they're going to finish the first season or the first game in the first season.
Hmm.
Each episode is taking a chapter out of the game. Like I am following it almost exactly, except for the changes they're making.
They're gonna run out of stuff after season 2 because there's no Last of Us 3 yet.
Yeah, so they're going to have to change something.
They'll just
And-
start making shit up, So
Well, like like Game of Thrones did and stuff.
yes,
But they are starting to get away enough from the games in these first few episodes that it's not
So-
following the games enough anymore.
do you think that they're doing that because they don't have enough to carry them 10 episodes? Or 8
Yes.
episodes or however many.
Yes.
episodes.
Also, I think that they're real. I think that like anything, you can't just copy paste what was already done. Like if I wanted to watch the show or the game, I would just play the game again. I don't mind them changing stuff. And I think that's the problem a lot of people have when it comes from to video game adaptations, is they just want a live action version of the game they played. And it's really hard, and they actually made a good
Yeah, I had that issue with Tomb Raider with the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider.
Yeah, the physics weren't the same. No, but it's you can't have an exact, everything doesn't work the same. They made a good point in one of the, how HBO does those after the episode talks about the episode.
Mm-hmm.
They talked about the episode and they changed one of the major things. So in the game, if you go into like a building and there's a zombie in it, or there's a bunch of spores because fungus has released spores. Well, that works in a game, but it's kind of hard to do in a show and to explain it in a show, real life circumstances, because that will disperse with the wind and everything.
Do they walk in and say, "There's a fungus among us"?
No, but that's a joke they could have made, honestly.
That's my point. Why not throw that in there?
But they changed it. They're making enough changes that make sense, and it's.
So I have a question. If you speaking of this, so is the Haunted Mansion movie like the Haunted Mansion ride?
No.
It's not. They took liberties with it.
Yeah. Did you never watch the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion movie?
I did not watch the edit. I watched the Muppet Haunted Mansion, which is really, really good.
Well, the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion's actually pretty good.
Is it? I never watched it. I know the kids watched it, but I wasn't. But it was like we were going out and they watched it with the babysitter or something. So
they have, it's like, oh hey, it's that person from the ride. I realized that when I rode the ride. I didn't know Haunted Mansion was based off of the ride.
Are you kidding me?
Nope. Just like I didn't know Pirates of the Caribbean was based off of a ride.
Shut your mouth. Are you kidding?
No. Well, I knew it. I eventually knew it, but I didn't. I knew it before I went to Disney. Same with
They
the
even
Haunted
put like the
Mansion.
dog with the key to get the, they even put that in the
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, the Muppet. Watch the Muppet. The Muppet one's really good. It's on Disney. The Muppet Haunted Mansion. It's not very long. It's like a half hour, 45 minutes or something. It's really, really good.
I watched the Muppets Treasure Island not too long ago. That was actually pretty good.
Did you see Muppets Christmas Carol with Michael?
Oh my gosh.
No, I haven't.
That's really good. It is really, really good. I recommend that one.
All right. Do y'all want to talk some foosball?
Yes, let's talk football. I have no
What
care
Mama don't
whatsoever
know
about the
won't
Super
hurt.
Bowl whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have preferred Mahomes or what's
Joe
his face? Yeah, Joe
Joe.
Burrow.
Well, the first game sucked. That Philadelphia game was awful. But, San Francisco was down to their fourth string quarterback, so you couldn't ask for much.
I think I want just to say right now, I think I want the Chiefs to win just because I can't stand Philly fans.
No, I'm going for the Eagles because I can't root for the Chiefs because the whole Raider thing. But I hate it was nice to see the Bengals get penalties and things not go their way, much like the Raider game against the Bengals last year. So
wasn't didn't they see the coach on the sideline in like the last 30 seconds of the Bengals say this is rigged?
That game wasn't rigged. Was there bad officiating? There was bad officiating. Everybody goes, well, they got a fifth down because they had to stop the clock. That was the game clock had started or hadn't started. Only the countdown, clock.
Mhm.
And it was supposed to be the game clock was supposed to start, and it didn't. So they blew the whistle, which that makes a dead play. They just couldn't hear the whistle because of the crowd. Unlike when they blew the whistle last year.
The next play
Unlike last year when they blew the whistle to call the play dead, but the Bengals scored a touchdown on that play, so they let them keep their touchdown instead of a dead. They called this one correctly this year. So,
well, I don't know. I
can't
only
hit
watched like
you can't hit the quarterback out of bounds.
The real problem was, yeah, but they're so finicky with that. Like, first of all, Mahomes.
Dude,
flopped.
did you see how he did not flop? Did you see how far out of bounds he was?
Flopped. But as
He
soon
was
as he hit
on the
ground,
other side of the white line. He was out of bounds.
Yes, I understand that he 100% got hit out of bounds, but when he hit the ground, you can see both of his arms flail up like a fucking basketball player. You don't do that when you fall on your back. You don't throw your arms up like you just threw a basketball and got fouled. If you watch the clip of it,
you can't hit a quarterback out of bounds. You can't hit any player out of bounds.
And I understand that, but they didn't call it until the very end when clearly Mahomes was like flopping for one.
That was the right call though.
It was but it happened earlier in the game and they didn't call it.
Oh, and you talking about the one where Joe Burrow took a dive when he got pushed?
It happened in the last Chiefs and it didn't happen.
I can't stand the Bengals, so I don't really care. But
most of the time, like a lot of the time, it's such a. I mean, it depends. It's like one of those fouls that penalties that just depends on like the officiating crew. Like I don't think it was that big of a hit. He got pushed from behind, and Mahomes went 10 yards out of bounds, flew on back, and almost did a backward somersault.
He didn't just step out of bounds. He was on the other side of the wide white line there.
But he made sure to make sure that everybody saw that he was completely out of bounds.
Fly Eagles fly.
Well, isn't that kind of their job, so they can get the penalties?
Sure,
they got
did you see? Hold on, I saw this on TikTok. Wait a second, hold on. I saw this on TikTok today. So, it was the Bengals, and they had two guys coming in, and they were late, and they were going to run out of time. So one of the other Bengals players hit the ground, faked a cramp, so they had to call an official's timeout.
I mean, that's another just part of the game, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, how do you stop it? So they, people, There's been crappy calls in playoffs for as long as I can remember. So, Tuck
Like, I
rule.
don't think it was a bad
So
call, but it definitely could have gone either way.
I don't
The
think
only reason why it got called was because it was Mahomes at the end of the game. It's the only reason why.
I think
If
it
that-
should have
if
been.
that happened-
I would have called that
If that happened in the
100%
first
either
quarter,
way.
if that happened in the first quarter, I almost can guarantee they wouldn't have called that.
Oh, I bet you they would have. I would have called that either way. Even if that was Burrow, I would have called that a late hit. It was that blatant of a late hit.
It really wasn't that blatant of a late hit,
It
but
was very. But did
he
you watch
was
the same
one
game I am?
step-
You
he
need to
was
get
one
new
step
weed
out of
because it
bounds.
is
Go
clouding your
watch the
head.
fucking video right now. He was 1 foot out of bounds.
No, he's not. There's a whole picture of it, and he's like
100%
way out of
is. I'll
bounds.
go fucking look it up right now.
I'm Google.
When
I'm
he
right
was
there with you.
touched, when he was touched, he was like a hair out of bounds. His first foot had just touched, and his other foot just crossed the line.
I'm looking it up right now.
It was really close. Again, 100% like a late hit, but it was a really close.
Okay, so you just ended it right there. 100% late hit. You just
Yes.
said it.
Which it doesn't matter how like out of bounds you are, but it can still go either way. That's like saying
like I said, I don't have a dog in the hunt, and I would have called that a late hit on anybody.
there's pass interference on every play, and they don't call it every play.
Boy, I say that all the time though. Like that looked like pass interference.
So they
There's,
don't call every
there's
penalty.
holding on every play.
Yeah, I mean you could call. I saw a picture of it, of the late hit, and he's like way out of bounds.
Yeah, when he's flopping half, that's what I'm saying. He flew 10 yards out of bounds when he got barely touched. He barely got pushed. Granted, they were both running at full speed, so he is going to go forward, but he flew forward.
Hold on.
200 and
Well, yeah, why wouldn't he get flown forward? He got pushed in the back.
not that far.
Hold on.
This is why we need Tim on more often than when we talk football.
Why? Chris is a fucking dumbass and doesn't know anything.
Oh my God.
Hold on. Hold on.
I
Hold
just
on.
like to say,
Stupid ass.
after thinking about it, I think I'd rather see the Eagles win.
That's what I'm talking about.
I just like to add my.
I mean, I
Okay.
sure
My two
fucking
cents.
want to fucking.
Just because.
Don't
Yeah.
tell me he. Look at this
There's-
picture. This is the picture.
Since the
You
last
can't
time,
tell me he ain't out of bounds. He's all the way out of bounds.
Since the last time, yeah.
You're looking from this side.
Holy shit! Now I'm looking at a different angle. What are you,
You're looking
freaking
from the
NFL
way
official?
the other side
Are
of
you
the
in New
field.
York?
How can you tell if he has a foot down in this picture? Shut the fuck up. You're such a, you
He's
can't
out of
even-
bounds.
You
He
can't
is
even
out of
tell-
bounds there.
You can't even tell if that foot is on the ground or not with that picture.
But he's out of bounds. I can see the white line. His foot.
If his foot was up in the air, though, then the white line would still be on this side. Which
Oh
is
my
why you
God! You sound like a Chiefs fan. What is wrong with you?
You need to
Okay,
pick
hold on.
the other
Hold
side
on.
if you're gonna say that.
Hold on. All right. Mr. Tim is wrong, and I'm getting ready to prove him wrong. Look at this one.
That's fine. I'll eat my words, but don't throw a fucking picture at me from 45 yards across the other side of the field.
Okay, what about this one?
Oh,
Oh, holy
pretty good
shit!
That's a pretty good picture. But again, you're looking at a still frame picture, so you need
He's
a
out of bounds. You
Yeah, but if
cannot
you-
touch him.
But if he touched him before he crossed out of bounds, and then his hands were still on him as he crossed out of
Okay,
bounds,
so if we go by the first picture that you say he could not be out of bounds, but
I'm
he is
looking
out of
for-
bounds, he's already touching him there.
we're in the 21st century. There's still pictures that are blurry that you're
Oh.
throwing in when there's high def
Can you?
camera.
I think a blind person, somebody legally blind, could see that he's out of bounds in that second picture.
In the picture. In the picture.
Well, so they made the right call. There's the
He's
referee at the
asking-
bottom of the call. Look at that. The referee is right there at the bottom of the picture.
Tim is saying when
Like,
where was
if-
he when he got his hands?
Still, you
on-
could have your hands on them all the way out of bounds.
Like I said, even if it's Joe Burrow, that is a late hit. I'm not protecting Mahomes. I give a shit about Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm a Raiders fan, but that was a late hit. They got that correct, 100%.
You want
I
to
would
look
call
for
that all day long.
a real video.
Now he wants a real video. What are you, freaking the Kennedy assassination House
I-
subcommittee or something?
Here's you can go look like OJ and not Buster's.
What about the OJ? He didn't do it because there's no video of him killing his wife.
I mean, pictures are
I
didn't
should
happen.
see the
We all
video.
say
I had to agree with Tim on that one. Pictures or it
pictures
never
didn't
happened.
happen.
What?
Pictures or it didn't happen.
Holy shit. That's what I got right there. He's out of bounds, and that's all there is to it.
Why can I not find a video of this anywhere?
I've got a video right here. I'm gonna send it. Where's it at?
I'm trying to find it on Twitter.
Here you go. I sent it.
I'm on the cheapest thing and I just can't find it.
I just sent it.
All right, I gotta watch this.
This is a video from the other side. I'm very upset.
Well, be ready to be upset.
Okay, I'm gonna watch this again, and he's running out of bounds, and he's out of bounds, and he gets pushed.
That's a.
That's hitting that somebody. Even if that's a wide receiver or a running back, you can't hit them out of bounds. They'll call that all day long. I don't think it has anything to do with
All
it
right,
being
he
Patrick
is
Mahomes.
clearly out of bounds, and number 58 or whoever lunges. So I have to agree with Chris. He is.
He
it
swung
is-
at him. He swings his left arm at him, his right arm at him.
Yeah. I hate.
That's a hit. That's a hit.
The guy
Out of
kind of
frustration.
landed and like twisted his knee too.
Yeah.
Ouch!
Just-
Oh,
he
he like
didn't have to go
hyperextended
for it.
his knee. Jesus.
At least he didn't have to go very far. I mean, he's right there on the bench.
Oh yeah, he hyperextended his knee. Ouch.
Did he?
Yeah. He planted,
I see it.
yeah,
when
he
hit
planted his knee and it kind of like straightened out and like, ugh, no thanks.
Was that his knee that he hurt last week?
that guy for the Bengals.
No, that was I'm talking
Oh,
about the Eagles player.
My bad.
Guy for the
My bad.
Bengals. No,
I thought you were talking about
Mahomes,
Patty.
I think that's gonna hurt.
That
him.
was his
And
ankle.
I don't know if he's got 2 weeks to heal that ankle,
He had a high ankle sprain.
and it's a high ankle sprain, and they don't heal very fast. So I will predict, and I'll predict it next week too. Philadelphia by 7.
Do we want to do? Okay, I'm going to ask you right now. Do we want to do bets like, what bets were taken for the Super Bowl?
No.
This is also a picture of him flopping, by the way. This is what arms look like when they flop. It's 100% a late hit.
Oh,
You're
you
right.
would take a picture right there where his fucking knee is.
But he definitely sold it at the end of that play.
Yeah.
It was a late hit.
I think a lot of people would.
I mean, come on now.
We've seen it. We've seen it all before. I'm not
He's-
mad about it.
He's
We've
not as
seen it.
bad
We've
as
seen it happen
LeBron
and not get
James.
called.
Oh, holy shit! You want to talk about LeBron James throwing a temper tantrum?
Sure.
Oh, what you mean? The
Chairman
Oh my!
James?
Did you see that?
What did Chairman James do today?
You didn't see it?
No.
Did you see the temper tantrum, Chris?
No.
He goes, okay, so the game's tied against the Celtics. He goes in for this lazy layup. And whether he got fouled or not, I don't know. It's the NBA. You can never tell if they're going to call a foul or not. They didn't call a foul on him, and the game went into overtime. He flops on the floor like a child and complaining, and then they end up getting beat in overtime. So my theory is, if that's Jordan going to be mad because he didn't get the foul called, then he's going to take you to school in overtime. That's the difference between Jordan and LeBron.
Well, Jordan will still complain that he doesn't get the foul because let's be honest, he got the fouls when he won.
You've got to see this.
There's literally a video of Jordan like complaining to a ref that he didn't get the foul.
Have you not seen the video?
At the end of the
I
video,
found it.
The LeBron, just put it in the chat. It's
Okay.
freaking ridiculous.
He hopped around, like stomping and pouting.
He hit the ground and he covered his face like he was going to cry like a little bitch because he is one.
All right, well, let me watch this. Oh, I've seen highlights of this on Twitter.
Oh, they just hit him at the end. Jason Tatum. It was a foul though.
I mean, like I said, it's the NBA. They can call that one way or the other. They
Well,
didn't bother. The funny thing is, nobody mentions the traveling he does to get there in the first place.
Who won that game though? Because it had to go in OT, right?
Celtics won in overtime.
Oh,
That's what I said. That's the difference between Jordan and LeBron.
most of
Jordan's
the
going
time,
to take that. Jordan going to take that, and he's going to take you to school.
yeah. He's just like, okay, I'll just finish it in OT.
That's exactly right.
But
the NBA is very much like they let them play in that last like 30 seconds. They let them play. Like they let a lot more fouls go than usual.
yeah,
Yeah, he took 4 steps.
He takes. I watched a video on Twitter. Some guy was like, he's like he calls out players for like taking a lot of steps and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
there's
And
so many players
like
that take so many steps. It's ridiculous. You can
Yeah.
see track like all the time, especially when they're bringing the ball up.
or carrying the ball.
Oh,
Like they do a lot.
carrying.
There's a lot of
like
carries.
Iverson used to palm the ball all the time when he would come down.
Yeah, and it's like every player does it, and they never call it. I don't know, but they're never going to call it because once they call it once, then everyone's going to be
Like,
mad.
I'm okay with them not calling traveling when you're bringing up the ball and like nobody's when you're just like walking up. I mean, like I don't
Yeah,
Right.
there's no press. There's no.
don't take like 15 steps, but like if you take a couple steps before you start dribbling, I don't think it's the biggest deal. However, once you're on the other side of the court and people are traveling, then you're gonna start calling it.
Yeah,
There's a documentary about the referee that gambled on the NBA games.
oh, I watched that.
Did you see that when he
Yeah.
was talking about the lower the shoulder? I think it was, and he was like a rookie ref. And Jordan did the move that they said if you see anybody make this move, call a foul.
Yeah,
Jordan made the move and he called a foul.
they're
So
like,
they watch-
you shouldn't have said that. Yeah,
Yeah. They're watching the game tape afterwards. He's like, we don't call Jordan on fouls like that. We don't call him for fouls. We don't do that. And he's like, He's like, you made the right call. Don't think you didn't make the right call. You made the right call, but we don't call Jordan. We don't call fouls for Jordan like that. And what they basically told him was, people don't come to basketball games to see the number one guy on the bench in foul trouble.
Oh, speaking of players on the bench, did you see the Golden State got in trouble because they rested all their starters? And like a dad posted like, I spent like $5,000 on these tickets and like traveling with my son to see Steph and Clay, and
they
they're
all
on the
sat.
bench.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big problem lately. That's a really
Well,
big.
that's
feel
the
like
one reason I don't want to go to an NBA game unless
I feel like the only way to fix that is to lessen how many games there are in a year, or
They
extend
It's been the same forever, though.
NBA game.
It's been the same forever.
Yeah, but players are getting a lot more hurt more frequently than they used to.
well, because they don't
But
practice.
the game is, and well, yeah, that's what they said. I read that somewhere. Someone said that the practices aren't as bad. They went from having a conditioning coach and a trainer. Now they've got all this whole staff of conditioning, and they want less practice and
But if you
and
play
more
four games,
rest.
if you
And
play 4 games in a week, though, it's kind of hard to practice every single day and make sure that you get the correct rest.
don't
Which is
need to-
why I feel
They
like
don't need to
Yeah,
practice every day, but a 3-hour shoot around on like a day off. That never.
but think about it. The game is less physical now than it was back in the day. It really was. It is less physical.
extend the season like longer. Like make sure there is 1 day between every single game guaranteed.
They
None of
do.
these-
They're never back-to-back games.
Yeah, there are
Yeah, there are. There's back-to-back games
all the time.
Are you
Other-
crazy?
Oh, that's playoffs. I'm sorry. No, that's no.
Yeah, they
There's
do.
not. Is there back-to-back? Are you sure?
Pacers played a back-to-back not too long ago, 2 home games in a row.
Are you sure there's not a day in between?
No, they don't. It's not often, but they still do it every once in a while.
Well, that's because they made the playoffs longer. I mean, It's the same. It's the games have always been the same. I just like I said, I read somewhere where it's how the players are conditioning themselves is different, and if they're not practicing as hard,
Well,
you take that day off, you kind of laze around. Maybe that's
one thing
they said that sometimes too much rest is bad for you.
yeah, and I don't want to say it's because they're not practicing over the summer, but back in the day, players would go play basketball over the summer all the time, but now they don't. They got other things to do. It's whatever, it's your life, but I don't
Or they
want to
would
spend
get
the
together and train. Yeah.
yeah. I just don't want to spend the money on I don't want to go to a regular season game and not see the star players. Like I don't want to spend that money. I don't want to spend that prime time money on like a Laker tickets and not see LeBron.
So go see somebody else and then just see the Pacer team.
In March, the Celtics play the Knicks in Boston, and then they have to go and play the Cavs in Cleveland the next night at 7:00.
Okay, well their games are done by 9:30. They'll be in Cleveland by midnight.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, where do you have time to practice when you have
They probably don't practice that's more of a shoot around day. I bet you they just go in
Stretch
and do a shoot around and stretch. Yeah,
But
that's
it's like
exactly
those
what they
kind of
do.
games, so the Celtics are going to play those back to backs, and then I can almost guarantee that when they come back to Boston and play,
That flight's less than an hour from New
when
York
they
to
play the
Cleveland.
Trailblazers the next day, they're probably going to sit there. At least a couple starters are going to sit that game because of the back to backs, or one of the starters will sit the back to backs so they can play the Trailblazers. Something like that. That's usually what ends up happening.
So I don't know. I just play the game. Just play the game you're paid to do, and you're paid a lot of money to do it. Nobody wants to see you throw a temper tantrum and throw yourself on the ground and just own it, take over the game,
That's
and finish
literally
it in overtime. That's the difference in generations between LeBron and Jordan, and that's why Jordan will always be better. It's how you approach the game.
Not what the points say. As the record say.
Who's 6-0 in the
who's 6-0 in the finals?
That's fine. Who has more of every?
Who's never gone to 7 games in the?
Who's played more seasons in general?
That just means LeBron's made more money by having extra games, and so is the NBA, which is why they force Game 7s all the time.
Yeah.
Like I personally like Jordan way more than LeBron, but statistically, Jordan is better than
freaking LeBron's played longer. Plus, Jordan didn't jump around from.
Yeah, but that's Jordan.
Give me all the best players. Give me all the best players.
Jordan called it quits early.
He had nothing else to prove. He won 6 NBA titles.
One of the best running backs, but he called it quits early. Same thing with Calvin Johnson. He called it quits way too early. So he's
so did Barry Sanders.
Good. Oh, Barry Sanders. That's who I was thinking of, not Emmitt Smith. Barry Sanders probably would have every single rushing record so high.
I don't doubt that.
Nobody would be able to get them. And he's already up there on the list anyways. But are you going to say like, I can't think of is LaDainian Tomlinson not better than what's his face? Because
Barry Sanders. No, Barry Sanders was better than majority of the players in the NFL
for 8 seasons. Yeah, but if I have double Barry Sanders yards, then there's no competition.
It's all about how long you play too, and also it does depend on your playoff record or your championship record. Or
definitely, that's what Jordan definitely has those playoff records. But I mean, at the end of the day, if I ask who leads the all-time board in points, in rebounds, in assists, it's going to be LeBron, and probably John Stockton, but LeBron's probably second.
Right. Well, yeah, statistically, but I will say Jordan is the better player all day long.
And Jordan also has a shoe brand, so he's known more. Oh my God.
I was
never a Jordan fan.
He has the better Space Jam movie.
Yeah.
I don't think I hear anybody talking about the LeBron Space Jam movie anymore.
He got a Razzie.
I never did watch it.
I won't watch it.
I watched 20 minutes of it and turned it off.
It was okay. It wasn't like it was, worth watching it while you're doing something else. Definitely not like a focus all your attention on the movie, but it definitely had some good parts.
Like a form of torture, maybe. Like somebody ties you up and says, "You must watch this," or
I mean, says the guy who watches movies for his not 10 busters over here. These shitty ass movies. Or do you won't
well,
watch
that's
Space?
okay. But those are expected.
And so is Space Jam. We know.
I
we
true
all,
because it's I don't know. It's too modern to not Buster
we,
that.
we all knew that it wasn't going to be good.
Yeah, these people got to stop with the reboots. I mean, Tom Cruise got away with it, and he just redid Star Wars. Was all he redid, and now he got an Oscar. He got an Oscar nomination for his movie, so good for him.
Top Gun: A New Hope.
But yeah, the reboots got to stop. Then they've rebooted Charlie's Angels. They tried to reboot Ghostbusters.
Hey, those reboots of Charlie's Angels weren't.
No, the new one.
Oh, I
With
forgot they even
Kristen
did
Stewart.
that. That one sucked ass.
See, and then what else did they reboot? They rebooted the Karate Kid. Don't do that. Just stop. Just stop. Stop.
Hollywood's ran out of
The
ideas.
Karate Kid with Cobra Kai, kind of. So
Well, yeah, but that's they re-energized that. That was with the original. You didn't reboot it. You know what I mean? You didn't have new. They didn't replace Ralph Macchio with somebody else. He's Ralph Macchio. He's Daniel LaRusso. That's
I
not a
watched.
reboot.
There's an episode. There's a interview I watched with Jackie Chan, and he was talking about when he got asked to play in the Karate Kid movie, and he asked the person, "It's like, all right, who's going to be the Mr. Miyagi character?" And they were like, "You," and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm old now."
Yeah, no. And Pat Morita got an Oscar nomination for that. I wouldn't touch that role. Jackie Chan brave when trying to take over that role.
It's Jackie Chan. He does it for the fans.
I don't know. That was a shitty ass movie. I watched it once and I never
So
watched it
did I.
again. I won't even
So-
watch it as a not buster.
so was around.
I
around
just protested that
days or whatever it was.
one. What?
Around the world in 60 days or whatever.
80 days.
Hey yo, that remake was good on Disney on the Disney one. That was a good movie with Jackie Chan.
Around the World in 80 Days?
Yeah, I liked that on. I watched it the other day. I watched it about a month or two ago on Disney.
Now Jackie Chan Adventures, that cartoon, that was dope.
Yeah,
What?
Jackie Chan Adventures.
Uh-huh.
Anybody got any?
Oh, did you see the new Mario Brothers trailer for the during? Oh no, you didn't watch football game.
Oh, it looked so weird. I was so confused at first. I was like, what the hell's going on?
I want to see it. It looks good.
I can't
I
tell
don't.
if it looks good or if it looks
Tim,
so bad.
Why the
that
hell
it's-
why are you
audio
talking like
sucks.
a Cylon?
Am I?
Yeah, you sound like a Cylon.
Hello. Give me your tacos.
I don't know. Speaking of that Mario though, I don't think Chris Pratt was the right pick for for Mario.
I'm reading. That's way too much for me to read into it. I just think it looks funny.
You look funny.
It's funny. That comes out. Shazam's coming out. We got some stuff coming out here.
That new Shazam looks pretty dope.
Yeah, it does. But the Mario looks funny. What I've seen of it looks funny. So
Anybody got any shower thoughts?
I have a shower thought today.
Really?
I do.
you have a shower thought?
I do.
Wow.
I saw it on Meme Droid the other day and I took a screenshot. So if you yelled for
Almost
8
dead.
years, 7 months, and 6 days, you would have produced enough sound energy to heat up 1 cup of coffee.
So
What?
That's mind bending.
Repeat
one-
that.
If you yelled for 8 years,
Oh.
7 months, and 6 days, you would have produced enough sound energy to heat up 1 cup of coffee.
That's not worth it.
So one Call of Duty lobby.
Yeah, but for 8 years, 7 months, and 6 days.
Huh.
That's too much. That's
Oh, you get a whole bunch of kids together and just have them screaming. You cut that down by like 8 days and 3 hours.
like 12 hours.
All right.
That's too long. I am not yelling for a cup of coffee.
Hey, sometimes you need those cups of coffee.
I'll just drink
Yeah.
ice coffee.
Or
I-
Haggerty weed.
If I whisper, does it
Yeah,
turn
could
into
be.
iced coffee?
I'll just snort.
You know what? When
something
I was a
if you want.
kid, if your coffee got cold, you threw it out and got a new hot cup of coffee. You didn't put ice in it and sip it from a straw.
No, what if instead of like a microwave, you just had screams? So you
I
just turn on the
hey,
microwave and just go.
I
"Ah."
lived in a house before microwaves. I remember when we got a microwave, the very first microwave. That thing was huge. It was bigger than our TV.
Those are probably
Hold on, guys, I
dangerous.
gotta
Those
go
are the
walk
ones they tell you not to use.
It had a dial. So
Yeah.
you would like turn the dial to like 5 minutes or whatever.
I got a question, Chris. How
Seriously.
cool was it when they first built those horseless carriages?
What was it like
You know,
traveling?
that's so lame. Like cars were like 70 years old by the time 80 years, 70, 80 years by the time I was.
I was there when we braved the Oregon Trail.
What did
Did you
think?
die of dysentery?
What did you think when you saw the person riding a horse for the first time? What did you think it was a dragon or something? You never seen a horse before?
The first time I remember things, we lived on a farm and had horses. So when I was 3-4 years old, we lived out in Bunker Hill and we had horses.
And they went to the city and it was like, what is that?
No,
Or
we
they
didn't-
my
we
it was
weren't
family out
it was a
there.
3-day
weren't
trek
Amish
to the city.
people looking at the magic box with the pictures in it or anything. But I do remember when my cousin got an Atari and Space Invaders. And
Oh,
if you flick the
hate
switch on and off 3 or 4 times, you got it. It would shoot faster. That was the secret thing.
Wow, the more you know.
Yeah.
Oh, before we do the ending, does anybody have a title for the episode?
Random ass shit.
All right, that's it.
No. Don't. Tim is wrong again. That's what it should.
Tim is wrong again.
All right, I got it.
Oh, I thought you said title, not title.
I like that one.
Not really feeling the love here.
Love you, Tim.
Yeah, I stab you too. I love you too.
This is a poison the wedding cake.
Hey, yo, make sure you got that chainmail on underneath your suit.
Oh,
Yeah.
I never thought of that shit. You're gonna come in with.
Hey, where you? There's gonna be a point when
You're gonna have metal
Uh,
detectors, Chris. He has something to walk through, or at least a guy.
Brad has 29.
no,
He's
just
got-
you know,
Can't
Reigns of
shiv us like we're just standing there, you know.
Reigns of Castamere will come on, and
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
He get it. We're gonna be standing there talking. He's just gonna start shanking us. It's like it's
You're
exactly.
gonna die, Chris.
I'll have that hood on, and that's gonna be the last thing I see in my life. Is
It's
him
just like the black like this, and all of a
with
sudden
that
it
hood
comes
on.
to the light.
The Lannisters send their regards.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, you can catch us at Podnerds on Twitter, Who's Your Nerds on Facebook. You can watch and listen to us at YouTube, and then you can, of course, listen to us at your favorite podcasting networks:
Why are you
TuneIn Radio,
talking in slow
iTunes,
motion?
Podnerd. Oh, shut up. You got Spotify, not Podnerds. That's on its own network.
Spotify,
And then wait, I
Amazon.
Amazon. That was the last one.
iTunes, and TuneIn Radio.
And
You
if
sound like freaking
select
Eeyore, man.
for a couple months, you'll get to hear one of our members get stabbed when I show. So stay tuned. Who's your next podcast?